So this is gonna be something a little different today because I got to see Lee Cronin's The Mummy, but my girlfriend hasn't, and I was gonna tell her all about it because I feel like it'd be very fun and very interesting and funny video. Especially since I was actually looking forward to the movie. My girlfriend was not, so I basically spare her the expense and basically watch it by myself. And it's one of those cases that if I did like the movie, like really like the movie, then I'll just take my girlfriend to see it. If I didn't, then I feel like I definitely did a good thing and not showing my girlfriend all those types of movies. Because it was the same way that happened with because it happened with Face's Death, where I wasn't even sure, and I ended up watching it, and I'm like, thank God I did not watch it with my girlfriend.
I would have been miserable.
But I was actually looking for. I was actually looking forward to this one. Just due to the fact, I did like the fact it's kind of going back to its horror roots again, starting with the Boris Karloff one, and then there's the Christopher Lee, and of course, then we have like the action stuff from Brendan Fraser, that my girlfriend has seen. I've only seen like one of them, which was the worst one with Jet Li. And I've seen the Tom Cruise one, which she also has not seen.
I've seen the Tom Cruise one.
Never mind. I'll disregard that. But but I was looking forward to it because it was going back to its horror roots. It definitely looks like it was doing something very different than the Mummy films we got nowadays. And I like the director's previous work, Evil Dead Rise, that I was curious about what he's going to do with a Mummy film that we don't really get nowadays. Even though I was a little skeptical because before getting to watch the movie, because people keep comparing it to Evil Dead and The Exorcist. That got me a little concerned because I was talking to my girlfriend about it because I was like, oh, I'm worried because I feel like it's going to have like an identity crisis. It's going to feel like it's too familiar and too derivative of those movies. Okay, well, I'll get into the praises and then I'll get to the main meat. So the acting was not bad. I will say that they didn't show in the trailer, but there was this cop who we do have like a little bit of a storyline. It's like that one's more so like the mystery aspect, trying to learn about like who kidnapped his daughter and and who like and what happened to her made her like this. And I think that storyline is actually like the best part of the film because the character is actually like the smartest one, even though she's kind of dumb in some aspects. Especially with one scene that involved like running after someone, and she's digging up something. She just grabbed this box, and then like she let go of it. But then like for some reason, the cop decided to like open it and see what's inside. I'm like, girl, this could be like a bomb. Like, why would you even? No gloves, no nothing.
One of those haunted boxes. That
Exactly. I mean, this is before she even like believed in ghosts and all that supernatural.
Something with a D. Dubo. No, that's not it. I'm butchering.
I know what you're talking about from The Possession.
But the real.
Yeah. But like I was the moment I was like, you could literally have like your gloves or like brought in a crew in case like there's something in it that could be like dangerous. It could have been like radiation for all I know. But luckily there was nothing dangerous. Just actually was a tape, but we'll get into that later. So I liked her storyline. Her character was really interesting, and she's the best actor out of the whole film. I felt like I honestly watching that storyline. I was like, there should be a spin-off movie about this cop because
just this one.
Yeah, because they were in. They were in like I think like a Middle Eastern area. They were definitely they were not in the United States at all. Or maybe they're in Mexico, especially since the Albuquerque, New Mexico. Well, anyway, I do like that storyline. I wish there was more of that one, but whatever. The gore effects, really good. Really, I mean, it's nothing like except for like maybe like one or two aspects. When I was like, ugh, like one involved the mom like trying to like cut the toenails off the main girl, and I was like, okay, like this is like kind of gross. I mean, but it's not too bad. and then like when they try to pull one thing off, all of a sudden skin, like the skin from there to like here.
That's the dreaded feeling of a hangnail coming off.
Yeah, basically.
Skin ripping.
That like I was like, oh.
No.
That threw me off. And then there's one at the very end, but I don't remember too much of that. That was like the one thing I was like, ooh, that got affected me. So like the gore effects, outstanding, great stuff. Even if like they're nothing too memorable, I do like some of the score. It's not too bad. Some of the camera shots, I think like there's like there's some cool camera shots when there's like where it's like almost like a split screen, but it's not because like there's one that's on the bottom where it's like a close up shot, and then like there's one like the far back from like the left area. So like that was like kind of cool. It's definitely kind of
with distance.
What?
Like played with distance.
Yeah, like that was kind of cool. I like that. They do use a lot, but I still liked it. Finally, I had some entertaining moments, I would say. Even if it's still very familiar, but you know, still entertaining. Beginning was kind of promising, I would say, because like again, how the movie dives into a lot into like, well, not really a lot. It does dive into grief, regret, and guilt. That all started when the family just basically just found out that their daughter's kidnapped by some random person for their mummified situation, and it's been 8 years since the kidnapping happened. So they kind of just like living life normally. They have their new child. Their son has gotten older, and then that's when they like found out from like a phone call. Be like, hey, remember that? It's like your daughter. Like we found her, and she's actually alive. So everything around that was kind of interesting. Again, how it dives in, and while also having a moment of the movie where they show like her room, like Katie's room, basically just completely empty and just kind of laying there. It's like, okay, like
moved on, forgotten type of.
Moved on, forgotten, but it's still in their but they still have a room, but like because they moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico, to be with their mom, I'm gonna assume. But like they each have their own rooms, including the main girl who has been missing for 8 years, though. So it's like they kind of just live off normally, but they're still like.
Hopeful she'll come back.
What's up?
Like hopeful she'll come back.
Yes. That's. Yeah, that's kind of it for praises. I mean, like I said, some of the acting not too bad. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Because when they do, when they bring in the daughter into the storyline, there's a lot of moments where, now, okay, maybe I kind of like set myself a failure. I don't know, but I remember I was reading like this critic I do follow named Perry. She's like said like the craftsmanship is like really good, but there's this one indistinguishable plot point that was too much of a distraction for the movie to be like good. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I didn't think, and when I watched the movie, I kind of just forgot about it and just kind of like make it open minded. So, okay, that's when we're gonna get spoilers. But you know, like I said, I don't like the movie, but you know, whatever is what it is. So they came across her in the hospital. It almost seemed like she was there for like maybe like a few hours to like maybe a days. Mm-hmm. Not really long. Like I said, she's been gone for 8 years, and the doctors were like, yeah, like she like physically she's like doing well, and then the father saw like some marks on her, and he's like, what is that? And the doctor's like, oh, like she did that to herself. It's kind of like self-inflicting, and basically, the doctor's like, yeah, like mentally she's not well, but like physically she's perfectly fine. To the point that the doctor's like, yeah, just send her home. Send her to Albuquerque, New Mexico from, I think it was Cairo, I believe. Cairo, Egypt, which makes sense, I guess. Yeah.
So, like, no testing, no
24-hour supervision, no therapy, no psychologist, no fucking anything, no, like, machine, like, okay, like, maybe she's, like, fine, like, physically wise. Short term wise, maybe. Long term wise, you need to at least have her like there for like a long time. Like give it like weeks, months, years. I don't know. Like,
Maybe they were expecting like the parents to do that when they got back home. Like, here's a referral for.
no, they didn't even bring.
counselor.
They did. They didn't even bring it up. If anything, the father was the one who brought it up like later on in the movie, way later than usual, where he said to the wife, maybe we should take her to a place that would keep her contained. And the mom's like, oh, so it's too much for you? I can fix her.
That pisses me off.
And the reason why she thinks it because she's a nurse. Or like
Is she a psych nurse or is she just a nurse?
she was wearing like a
two
pink
different
she was
jobs.
like wearing like a pink like what like pink kind of clothing like usually like what like dentists wear. I don't know.
She was probably like
Scrubs.
Like an ER nurse.
Yeah, something like that.
Mm.
Dude, I'm telling you, hon. That was like that like for throughout the film. Just the idiot, like the dad, like because, and then like the dad's like thinking like, okay, I need to like find out about like what happened to our daughter, like who kidnapped her, which very reasonable. Yes, I mean like the movie does dive into the trauma and all this, and like so there's some parents that probably just like let's just like move on from here, let the past be the past, or like there's also people that want to really find out about the situation. That's fair. The mom's like, oh, so why are you still living? Why are you still in the past? Like, you gotta let the past go. I was like,
This mom is pissing me off.
dude, the mom was pissing me off. Like, the dad was kind of stupid because I'm just like, how are you not? Because there's a lot of like banging and loud noises going on. Like, the sound effects of the movie doesn't really make any sense to me because like they're in this house. Yeah, it could be like maybe like I feel like the walls were like kind of thin, especially since like early on the movie where when everyone was sleeping, also you hear loud banging from the daughter, just making a bunch of like crazy noises and just crawling around this hidden area that I was like, who the fuck made this house? And crawling around like a freaking spider, eating a scorpion. I was like, okay. And like the mom and dad are just going after him like freaking like cats going after a rat. It was absolutely insane. And because there was only like one moment where they had like some form of conversation where it was like realistic when it comes to like the dad, like the reason why he's trying to find the mystery behind it because he felt the guilt, like felt like he was the one that caused the kidnapping to happen, which fair, I get it, trauma. And then the mom is like feeling so much guilt in terms of like her just like not being around for the child, so now she's just gonna be there like almost 24/7. Again, fair. But the argument between these two should not be it should not be like this much in the movie for them to dive into grief or trauma or guilt. Cause I'm like, okay, you just sound like you guys don't even care about each other. It was fucking ridiculous. I was like, or at least more so the mom. I'm like, dude, like, he's trying to find out what happened. At least let him do his own thing and you do your thing. What? And if he's and if like he told you to send the house, like maybe it's what's best. Especially when the girl is acting like literally the first thing that the girl did when they brought her to the house was when the grandma was just like putting his hand on her hand, basically doing like a prayer, and she basically just headbutt her face where she almost looked like she broke her nose. And yet I'm like, okay, that should be the part in the movie where the dad should be like kind of wondering like what's going on with this girl. It does have again, no 24-hour supervision, no child psychologist or psychologist, or the people who like found out that she's in this coffin. They were not curious about that too. They literally like took pictures, be like, "What the fuck is this? Just this kid in the freaking coffin or sarcophagus." And I'm like, are people who are like into a sarcophagus like not that interested about like and the doctor what?
Why are you in there?
Yeah, exactly. The doctors say like, "Yeah, we made no press about it, so you're good to go." Which I was thought that like maybe it was just like some like government like covering conspiracy ordeal, and that would make sense of like why the doctor's like, yeah, you good to go, you can do your thing, and just basically like, want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
But no, it's just no, she's just fine. That's fine. Nothing all that government conspiracy stuff. It's just basically just fucking dumb. It's just incompetency. It drove me nuts because, and the thing is like, okay, maybe it's just like the one moment where you have to have your the relieve the disbelief or whatever that term is. I'm blanking right now. But like, there's there's other moments too in the movie. Again, with the kid just acting crazy, and I'm just like, okay, send her to an institution or fucking get an exorcism. Spoilers, when the grandma gets killed by the child, and they had a funeral in the same house as the daughter, who is just locked in the house. But I'm like, and also for the fact that like when she like vomited on like the floor, like you can see it like seething, like it's almost like acid, and she just kind of just like teething. And I'm just like, no one's looking up in the ceiling and see like this weird looking dark molded hole thing. And also for the fact that same daughter like basically just went after people, basically got the sister and almost the sister more so just possessed, controlled by her, which doesn't even really explain how that process works. The only close thing I can think of is that when she was just like got the sister to get near her to the door because she just started speaking for the first time ever towards her, and then she just started licking her feet, and then and then that's when she's
like foot fetish here. There's a couple times they've mentioned feet.
And yeah, I know. And then like then she started doing like some form like spell ritual on the sister that's causing her to act like pre-possessed. But I don't know what caused this brother to be possessed, but whatever. But like the older sister basically got the sister to like take the teeth out of her grandma, and the older sister basically got down from the roof and basically just chewed on the freaking grandma's neck, and this other sister chewed on the priest's ear. And then we're just basically just got, well, that Bring Her Back is a way better movie than this.
That's what like those kids make me think of. Like,
it's way better movie. And yet everything that happened from that situation, brush aside. The priest, we don't know what happened to the priest, and the other and the other older women who were eating devil eggs that had some blood in it from like the girl's spit. Never mentioned again. It's just like the whole scene was just forgotten. I was like, what the fuck? Like, it really is trying to make you like, it's asking way too much for you to just like accept this shit and move on. No.
Like, oh, use your imagination.
It's not just use your imagination, just accept it. You just accept what happened and just move on and not question this. It's asking way too much of your sense of like logic, and then just like I don't know. Just accept it. I cannot, for the love of me, just like accept this shit, knowing the fact that there's just too many stupid things going on from this family. And I don't give a flying fuck about this family. The only one I kind of care about was the dad, because I actually kind of
was trying.
Yeah, because he was trying. He was trying to find out the mystery, and I do kind of like when they do give some form of explanation on the the mythology of the mummy. That kind of gives me like a little bit like the supernatural vibes, which I was like, okay, kind of cool. But it's not really all that explored. They do bring in like a guy who is like who knows this, the researcher trope, but they don't bring him into their house, I guess. He just kind of just like, because there was just like wrapping around the girl's skin that had some form of like markings on it, mummy markings, and then basically the dad
are covered in hieroglyphics.
Kind of. Okay. And then like
I want to know who the guy did it to.
And then the dad brought in those like wrappings and took it and bring it to the guy who knows his stuff. He did help give him an explanation that was actually kind of nice. But And also, like, okay, this one, like, no one's brought this up from watch, but like, the main actor of the movie, the father, he's actually Jack Rayner. He's actually from Midsummer. He's the boyfriend. He was in Transformers 5. He was the not Transformers 5, Transformers 4. He was the boyfriend to the daughter, with the whole Romeo and Juliet scenes.
I was gonna look up the.
Um, I mean, like, I think he was like really good Midsummer, and he sounds good here, but his face expressions, I don't know, like, it's so like bizarrely directed because I feel like the director wants him to like look kind of shocked, but he just has that doughy, like he has that he has that doughy eyes, like doughy face, babe, where he just like his eyes is like make it look like he's like shocked, but it's not too much of a shock. It's just more so just like almost like it's almost like a Owen Wilson in person, trying to look kind of like shocked and like surprised and don't know which face to make from his eyes and his like mouth and all this stuff. Like everyone else was giving like scared, confused, like reaction that makes sense, but not the dad. For some reason, dad, I was like, dude, why does your face look like that for this scene? Why does your face look like that from this reveal? Why does your face look like that when you're scared? I was like, what the hell? What is going on? He was, like I said, he sounds fine. He sounds good. It's just his face. I was like, dude.
So you just let that go home? Like it was no.
She showed me a picture of the child mummified.
So you're just gonna let that doctor?
Yeah,
stamp that. We're good.
8 years. Doctors, yeah, just send her home. I'm like, what the fuck? I can't. I was like, that was not gonna work for me personally. It was too much of a reach. It was too big of a reach to the point. It's basically a plot hole, and it was just not. It was just super unrealistic. Which I get. Yeah, a movie about supernatural mummified. Wow, realism. Okay, dude. No, it's just like the logic behind the storytelling, the character decisions just made absolutely no sense from the family side. The cops made way more sense than this shit. And the ending, I watched this. I didn't think of this until I was watching a review, and I thought this was so funny. So in the final act, spoilers, but there were again a bunch of crazy stuff going on between the daughter and the family, and the kids who are possessed, and the father managed to like get a hold on this kid somehow, despite the fact this kid is like really strong, and this is that one moment where I'm like, okay,
supernatural.
Yeah, but yet there's this one moment where he basically got her in a freaking hug hold, and she's like couldn't even like freaking get out, even with the scratch marks.
Power of love.
And then they do bring the cop character into it, which she did have like a little bit of a dumb moment, but it wasn't like compared to the other ones. I don't think she was like smartest. Mm-hmm. Literally, there's a part where like there was a scorpion that basically went into her freaking like mouth, and basically just like poke a hole through it, and then just like put. But what she kind of did that was like doesn't make sense, but it was kind of funny or kind of cool. Is that she basically just put her hand, put it in her mouth, and then grab the scorpion out.
Why not just keep your mouth closed or chomp down on it?
I think because it's just too far down to her throat that she.
But it had to go in.
Mm-hmm.
Chomp on that thing.
When
keep your mouth open, you're gonna catch flies.
When the scorpion was in her mouth, it's because the grandma who got possessed basically just like got hold of her mouth and just and put the scorpion in her mouth, and that's when they get inside her throat and just start like stab through it, and then just and that's when she like took it out of her throat and just squished it. Which she was still like able, she like no blood was coming out. If anything, it just kind of like fucked up her like vocal cords a little bit, and basically, and they were doing like a whole ritual because that's the only way for the mummy to like pass down the possession demon thing into the child through this black gold like disgusting slime thing, and so the cop was saying the ritual in her native language towards the kid and the father. That way, that will be transferred down into his his own body. And and as a result, they put him into the esophagus or coffin, doing like a little bit like those like Morse codes.
Yeah.
Because there was a connection between the dad and the daughter when it comes to her wanting to study Morse code, which they do play a little bit on that, and I think that stuff is actually not that bad. I actually do like that one. So, but the main girl, the mom, called the cop and said, "Hey, I have an idea of like the husband and how to basically cure him." And the cop's like, "I'm listening." Wait, she she got sold, but she's like struggling to speak. Like Saw 4. No, 5.
I'm seeing a couple movies here. Continue.
So they did find the guy. They did find throughout the film. The cop did find the girl who did put the kid through this mummy ritual thing and basically shot her, but turns out she's actually alive, and she's now like restrained herself in like this maybe like mental institution or jail or something. So the mom did like a little bit of injection towards her neck, so that way she won't be able to speak. At least that's sort of what I'm assuming. And she brings in her husband, who is mummified, possessed, and basically and the cop comes along too. And so what it is that the cop is going to do a ritual spell to transfer his like mummified soul into the kidnapped woman's body.
Back at you.
Here's the thing. Like I thought that was like kind of cool first, but here's the thing though. And I didn't realize until I watched the video because the schematics of it make no fucking sense. First of all, she was in Cairo. They were in New Mexico. How did they manage to get there with flight?
Yeah, did they take his mummified body on a plane?
They put him in a wheelchair. And he basically just not walk, and that's how like they don't bring the coffin. They just bring the body. So the question is, how did they manage to get through airline?
Yeah, security.
Process. Yeah, airline security, airline process, airplanes. Is the guy just chilling in his?
Maybe they thought he had a disability.
Not with what he looked. He looked like he had the plague.
That's fraud.
Like, I was like, wait, hold on. Like, actually, nothing but the schematics don't make sense. Like, he literally went through fucking security like nothing. Like, nobody, like, questioned the fact that he looks like he's, like, rotting at death's door right now. Like, what? Or it looks like, are you sure there's something on him that's, like, concerning? Or it could be, or danger to society? So, like, literally just fly from Albuquerque, New Mexico to Cairo for just this process that like sounds kind of cool, but it just makes no sense in terms of like, okay, how do we get from here to here? And that's basically like how it ends.
So does the mummy go into the original girl again?
Yeah, and basically the dad back to normal. Same with the daughter.
Well, now they can do what the mom wants and forget it all behind and live their life like normal.
Yeah, which in actuality, cause when I thought like the movies just basically just kind of go through like, trauma, just basically like finally letting go of the daughter, just moving, like legit moving on. But after the movie's over, it's basically was like, wow, like basically none of the family like had really much repercussions other than like maybe like mental scars, but that's pretty much it. Like no one died except for the grandma. The grandma's the only one who died. None of the fucking family members. Not the mom, not the dad, not the son, not the daughter, not even the older daughter. None of them died. So I was like, oh, okay. So like, they got off easy, and it made it like unintentionally such an easy fix now.
Did the girl that stole the daughter?
Yeah.
Did she just steal the daughter because she wanted to get rid of the mummy, maybe for somebody that she knew?
Just to transfer the mummified soul into the kid, because when we do get footage of it, which did kind of like a little disturbing because it just looked like found footage, and then we did get to see like the mummified like demon king god or something like that, just riding Discord, and that way, she'll say the ritual process, which there were like other people, but they didn't really explain who they were unless like it's her children, where we do get to know about the dog. Well, actually, no, I take that back. I think it's probably it's like the people who maybe died from that airplane crash that because the children were trying to like move the coffin away from the mom. But then like I guess the mummy just got a hold of these people who were flying the plane and crashed down, but the coffin is perfectly okay. Not a scratch on it, which just has the daughter in it. And the daughter of the woman who kidnapped them, like her tongue is basically cut. So she wasn't be able to speak very well. But and the reason why her tongue was cut is because she tried to tell the truth, but the mom found out and basically just cut her tongue cut her tongue off or in half. But that's basically the general gist of the movie from what I remember. What's your mind process right now? You're looking at me like this.
That sounds like the dumbest, stupidest movie. That has nothing to do with the mummy. Don't even use its name.
I mean, I don't mind. I mean, to be fair though, it does. There are actually. I mean, I can understand because there are some people who like pretty much just kept thinking it was like it feels like it does feel way too much like an Evil Dead movie. It does feel like an Exorcist film at times.
It was giving me like I mean, Bring Her Back.
Yes.
It was
better
giving
movie.
me Possession when the dad took the curse. No, was that Possession?
What do you mean?
There's a movie where a girl gets possessed by one of those boxes.
Oh, The Possession.
The Possession.
Yeah.
When then the dad takes it and then he dies.
Yes.
Spoiler alert if you've not watched that. And then it also made me think of that movie that has the main guy from Split. It was a new movie that he was
Chris Rock?
No.
Oh wait, not Chris Rock. James McAvoy?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's in it where they're like take over people's identity, but he cut off his child's tongue so he couldn't tell the truth. Did you ever watch that?
Wait, James McAvoy in a movie where he cuts it. Does he cut the tongues off?
Yeah, he cuts his Speak No Evil.
Oh, that's right.
He
That's
cuts his tongue off. So
that's right. Yeah.
I was getting that vibe, especially when you're like, "Hey, cut the tongue off."
Mm-hmm.
Say what?
Yeah, it just felt like this movie.
There was a lot of movies in it.
Not a single original bones of his body.
No.
Except for the cop. I do like the cop storyline. I think that was the only thing that felt like very interesting and very refreshing in a way. Especially with all the dumbassery shit going on with the family. I mean, except for the father. But even then, like... Oh, there was also like a sound effect that it was just so stupid to me personally. And this is just like a very minor detail, but it was just something worth addressing. Like, because the grandma, she was like about to like get like lipstick and basically put it on her lip. But the way that she like grabs the like lipstick, make it sound like she's like grabbing a fucking knife or like something sharp. What lipstick has a sharp sound? That was stupid. And it just felt like it was just like trying to be like, oh, you know, we thought it was gonna be this, but it's not. Even though it's like a quick glance.
But in reality, she thought it was lipstick, but it actually was a knife.
Yeah, if only. But no, it's just...
She cuts her lips off.
I think I might have seen that from a movie with a lipstick that turns out to be like a shock. But anyway.
Oh, the taser gun!
Yeah, actually,
That's from Minions.
And Faces of Death, I think.
Or not Minions, but Despicable Me.
Ah.
Lipstick taser!
Yeah. It drove me, but this movie made me so frustrated. It made me so frustrated because there were such really good moments, really good scenes. Again, storyline cop, just way more interesting than the stuff with the family. I mean, it's not that the family was boring. I think the problem is just the movie being like over 2 hours long. It's like 2 hours and 15 minutes. There's just so much going on that almost made it like a bit bloated. It's almost felt like it's doing too much to the point it can't even focus on the fucking trauma, guilt portrayal or something like that. It's just like it felt like it was just doing too much of the cliche horror tropes that you've seen from multiple of these films. That honestly, because the movie is produced by James Wan, and I literally thought myself.
like James Wan.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's one of those cases. I keep doing this to myself every time I see a James Wan produced movie that I don't like. Now I'm like, what would he would have done if he directed the movie? And I honestly thought to myself, no, he just went fucking batshit insane with this movie, and that would have been a lot more entertaining because it will not be taking stuff that serious, especially when, because the director's clearly like he previously did Evil Dead Rise, which I do think is really good. But for something like this, I felt like, okay, like, just do another Evil Dead movie, I guess. Especially when it felt too much like that. But, yeah, it was just so agonizing. It was, like, agonizing at times. It was so frustrating. Just because I'm just, like, the mom is just too unlikable. The dad, like, he's interesting, but there's not, or, like, what he's exploring, but there's not really much to him as a character. Other than he just felt guilty of the fact that he probably felt like he caused the kidnapping to happen because he was in the house where it happened.
He wasn't supervising.
No, he wasn't. Yeah, he just wasn't supervising. So yeah, like, because it makes me almost apologize for that Wolfman movie from Blumhouse that came out last year, because at least those had some interesting ideas, even if I still think it's like on a similar level as this movie. And I was still wondering myself if this is better or not, or on the same level as the Tom Cruise one.
I haven't seen it.
That movie is bad, but it was just at least it was just stupid, and it just had some like dumb moments, but it's not taking itself all that serious. So with something like this, it felt like it was just like just really stupid. But I give this movie a 3 out of 10. Like I said, there's some good attributions to it. I want a movie with the cop character, with the actor. She was great. But almost everything else around it was just too stupid for me to handle. Too stupid. It's better than Faces of Death, because it doesn't have the worst cliche ever for me. It doesn't have the worst tropes. At least I'm glad it didn't go there. But gathering with what the trailers were giving me, oh my god, it was not as good as the trailers, but just another Blumhouse monster movie that I just end up not liking, I guess. Even though The Invisible Man is the best one, it's actually really good. But yeah, Wolfman, now this, not a good track record. But regardless, the movie fucking sucked. I was so I don't know, but. What did you think of this movie? What did you, Lee Cronin's The Mummy? Do you like it? Do you not? If you do, let me know. If you don't, let me know as well, because I'm curious to see what people like about this movie. Especially since like the movie's kind of like it has like mixed reviews, but like my horror mutuals, they kind of actually like the movie. But that's just me personally, and I think I'm like one of the people that like gave it like the lowest rating from my mutuals. So, but until then. Thank you so much for this review, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.